Hey there, Sagittarius Sun, Sagittarius Moon, Sagittarius Rising. Welcome to your mid-month reading. So as you can see, I still have the cards here from your month. We're going to build on this for the mid-month, and we're going to take a look at, we have a new moon in Virgo that is happening on the 14th, and then we have a full moon in Aries happening on the 29th. So we'll pull cards on both of those, and we're going to take a look at what is another superpower that you can use to activate, with some more advice for the second half of the month, and take a look at the energy, excuse me, the energy for the 2 weeks that we have coming up. So let's start with the energy of those 2 weeks. We're going to look at the energy of the week of the 17th through the 23rd. I'm going to get that card right now, and then, well, so much for patience. Oh, and as you finish out the month right there, what is the superpower that Saggy can use to really love that? And what is the advice? Oh, this is the advice. Okay. The Empress is sitting here at the bottom of the deck. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that because I feel like you're growing something. I really do. There's a lot of opportunity for growth here, but I think this comes with this new beginning, right? You had that new beginning from last time, and this Empress here is about this pregnancy, this opportunity to really bring something in. I think that's really on the order. So in case you didn't get to see your September reading, I will link the whole video here, but let's go over some of the cards here just so that you're caught up with what's happening here. So we have this Five of Wands energy that you find yourself in this. I'm trying to create something. I'm trying to master something. It's cooperation versus competition, but it's also that there's a lot going on, and it's hard to make a lot of progress, particularly at the beginning of the month where we still have Mercury in retrograde, but now Mercury is moving direct, and Venus is starting to pick up speed. She clears her shadow when we get into October, as does Mercury. And so the planets, the personal planets, are all starting to move forward. We're starting to be able to use that energy to make some progress, but still it's kind of a slow slog right now. So it's kind of like climbing uphill in waist deep mud. There's a lot to do, got to get to the top, and yet all these things seem to be coming down on us. When you left August, you were in a very thoughtful about which way is the wind blowing, what direction do I want to go in. But your overall energy was that I want to dance to the beat of my own drum. And I want to play the music. I want to dance. Very Aquarius, actually, for Sagittarius sign there. So here we have, consciously, you are trying to find the balance, the strength. When do I stand my ground, and when am I soft and pliable? It is fire and water energy this month for you. Lots of fire and water showed up everywhere here. So subconscious energy, what you're working on is this, your confidence, your willingness to shine out into the world in order to draw and to attract to you what it is that you want. Your advice was to take a moment to reflect, right? There was a lot of reflection. The challenge is finding the balance, and the opportunity is finding the balance. But finding the balance by letting go of your regrets and just focusing on things aren't happening to you, they're happening for you, and your ability to be the calm eye in the middle of the storm is where your superpower is. And then here, again, there's this, you're overcoming this energy of this is when you recognize that your thoughts are creating your illusions, your anxieties, and your worries, and you can change that by being your optimistic self and throwing your wishes and goals out to the universe and leaping like, I know it's going to happen, and then bossing up with this King of Wands energy of knowing that you can do it. So lots of Leo energy showing up for you, lots of bossing up energy, even though you are not Leo. I know that, Sag, but there's Venus in Leo is now moving direct. And so really tapping into that energy of being able to move ourselves forward with confidence and self-empowerment. And so your other superpower here this week, this month to use is the Page of Wands. And this is optimistically aiming for what you want. So you have the Knight of Wands, you have the Page of Wands, the King of Wands. You had this Emperor card here for energy to use to really boss things up. And so lots of enthusiasm for this new beginning and this rising up energy that you have going on. And so as we step into the second half of this month and we start off with that new moon in Virgo, it is really like planting that seed, staking that claim, throwing our goals and our dreams out into the universe and saying, hey, I really want this. This is what I want. This is what I am planning to spend the time on to manifest and create. And you are not letting the moss grow under your feet. Here we have the Knight of Swords. This is so funny because he's an archer. Look at that. It's Knight of Swords, but he's an archer. And he is racing to catch up with the motorcycle. And so now that the planets on the 15th, Mercury, so the 14th, we have the new moon. On the 15th, we have Mercury stationing direct. And so it's almost as though we are racing to catch up with the goals, the dreams. Spirit is leading the way, and you will be right on target. So there's a lot of movement, a lot of excitement starting to happen in your energy here as you move forward. And here, all that reflecting that you have been doing. The last week, we have that full moon in Aries. That last week is allowing you to really release judgment of yourself, of situations, unburdening. As you release and you let go. And so look, here we had the moon and you're in the water, and look what you have done. Using that temperance, that alchemy to this, you have the opportunity to transform and transmute and create this healing energy for yourself by releasing judgment of yourself and others. You know, not everybody knows what they're doing in life. I know that's not a surprise really, but not everybody knows what they're doing, and our ability and our willingness to say, okay, you know what? Clean slate, everybody. Let's start from here. You know, that doesn't mean that when someone has taught us not to trust them that we don't let them fully in. I'm not saying that, but we don't hang on to the lower vibrational energies of regret and anxiety, because the only thing they're doing is weighing us down. Instead, we're going to lighten the load, and we're going to shoot for what we want, and we're going to throw our wishes out into the universe. And so that is what you have. And your advice here, so look, we have the 20, that's a 2, and here we have the High Priestess, also a 2. And so it's a choice. It's a choice. So here there's the reflection, and here it's taking your power back through focusing on your internal life and pulling down the information. Remember how we were working with that with the Star card the first week, pulling the information in from the universe and being able to really use that to move things out in the direction we want to go. What's wrong with this deck? Oh, I have it upside down. All right, so let's take a look at that new moon that we have in Pisces. That new moon in Pisces, just so I get it right, is happening on, new moon in Virgo. New moon in Virgo is happening at 9:40 p.m. on the 14th. Eastern time zone, that's 9:40 p.m. It's 21 degrees and 59 minutes, so really it's at 22 degrees, which is a very critical point. It's a very fertile area to be working with. You have the fertile energy here of the Empress to work with. We have Venus conjunct Juno at this time, which is very much a empowering, bossing up feminine energy, which is really nice. And so we have a kite. We had a kite in the last one. We have a kite on this one. You know, I don't think I told you that, but there was a kite formation. And so there's the energy of tapping into our wisdom and our knowledge and being able to use that to propel ourselves forward. And so that wisdom and knowledge now is coming to you from your higher self through your connection in. So connecting into spirit and really using this energy to get you to where you want to go. You had this. Look at this. The first half you had the herring. So this was one of the spirit guides to work with. This has got this almost like this renewal, this rising up, like almost like the phoenix rising from the ashes. And here we have embrace, and it is There's fire and water again. And there's the herring. So embrace all the parts of you. The fiery parts, the optimism, but also the emotional energy. And tapping that, and tapping your intuition, and using that. So when we pull our energy in, the 13th, 14th, and 15th, and really using this energy to really connect in with spirit, and standing still, embracing the pause, the breath of moment, to really focus on what it is that we really want to create. And then you have the flying free, the diligence. This looks like a turn. Yeah, Turn. They're actually they're endangered. So this is flying forward. So embracing the quiet, getting your bearings, figuring out, and then having a path to move forward on. There is energy that comes in with this new moon. I'm not going to get into it here, but that is about finding that sacred path and having the guts and the courage to stick to it, because we know in our deepest souls that it is the right path for us. It is the right path for us. That spiritual path, it just simply means that your higher self is trying to remind you what your goals were when you incarnated here. And so it's following that guidance system that is inside of you. What else do we have here? Oh, I love that you got that. So diligence means that you're going to have to show up for yourself, right? You're going to have to do the work. You're going to have to run to catch up a little, it looks like. But I think it's about catching up with moving forward energy. It's almost like he's not carrying a bunch of load either, right? He's able to move forward quickly because the only thing he's carrying is his bow and arrow. We have the gentle gardener. The gentle gardener says to nurture and care for your dreams and your goals, to speak to yourself kindly, to love yourself, to nurture yourself and nurture your dreams. And when things don't seem to be going the way you would wish they would go, staying optimistic, aiming for what you want, taking the next appropriate steps, and releasing judgment. Releasing judgment of, okay, so that's not working. Doesn't make it good or bad. That's just not the way. And allowing it to be a navigation tool to allow you to adjust and to adapt and to make changes, right? But still staying on path. And so diligence says show up for yourself, but show up for yourself kindly, in a very kind manner. And release judgment of the learning process that you're going through. Then we get a full moon in Aries, and that full moon in Aries, this one's beautiful because we have a trining, we have a grand trine that's going on in Earth at that time, which is really supporting your ability to manifest things while you release and let things go. But the sun, which is opposing the moon, right? So the sun is in Libra, the moon is in Aries, but that moon in Aries will have just crossed over this dreamy, goal-oriented Pisces energy of Neptune and Pisces, and they're exactly 10 degrees apart, which means they're barely, but they are still in conjunction. And it's about what to focus on as you're letting things go, what to focus on and what direction you want to go in, and how do you want to manifest. And we've got Venus at 22 degrees exactly conjunct Juno, which is, Jupiter's, so Jupiter and Juno, Hera and Zeus. Okay, so they're the same entities, just different iterations. And she was sovereign unto herself. She had to rely on herself and her own smarts and her own intelligence and her own ability to manifest and create for herself, because her husband was a little bit of a player, right? And so she had to selflessly love herself, and that's what you're being invited into. And so that energy is going on in Leo, right? And so that trines your sign, and it's at that 22 degree point, that magical 22 degree point again. And so with this full moon, and it's happening on Friday, September 29th at 5:58 a.m. at 6 degrees of Aries. And meanwhile, the sun is conjunct Athena, knowledge and wisdom, that you'll be pulling from what you have gained, what have you learned, what have you been pulling in, knowledge and wisdom, and trusting yourself, right? And so this is the opportunity that comes with it. So I wrote here is spectacular attainment, peak capacity, marking out a new, possibly permanent path, the deep knowing of what is right for you. And there you are, running toward it. I love it. So you have here the new moon in Virgo, which is funny because we're at the full moon now. But anyways, it says, trust that all will be well. And the full moon in Taurus, it says to detoxify. This is the last full moon before we have a full moon in Taurus. That full moon in Taurus will actually be an eclipse. And I almost feel like this is a chance for you over the next 30 days to let go of all, and when it says detoxify, it could be your physical body, but it could be friendships, judgment, right? You're releasing judgment. Negative attitudes towards yourself and towards others, towards situations, being willing to let go of what doesn't work in your life in order to set yourself up for success. And trusting that even though you can't clearly see the path, because this motorcycle, it's going around a bend, around a corner, you can't really see where it's going. But trusting that that is the path for you. It almost feels like that spirit leading the way, encouraging you to move forward in a beautiful way towards your goals and your dreams. Spirit is definitely leading the way up here, showing you how to catch up with what it is that you need. And we get this. The cicada, right? The cicada shows up at certain times. There's a timing and a process to it. So it's timing, protection, and emergence. Timing, protection, emergence. You're nurturing something. It's going to take a little while to come in. Remember, you were being asked to be patient, but that doesn't mean you don't do the work, right? It doesn't mean you don't take care of yourself, you don't nurture yourself, you don't nurture your goals, you don't nurture your dreams. Of course you have to do all that stuff, right? So you do want to do all that stuff. My sense of timing is in harmony with the universe. You will catch the motorcycle at the right time. You will ride into where it is you need to go. There is a timing thing that is happening here. But right now, the personal planets are all moving forward. It is giving us the chance to gain our bearings. Venus and Mercury are moving slowly. Mars, he's clipping along. But Venus and Mars are having a conversation. And they're going to have it all the way up until that full moon in Taurus. They're having a conversation about what choice and what decision, what benefits, what do we want, what do we want to do. And Venus is how you emotionally feel about things, and Mars is, well, it's self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, it's self-empowerment and relationship balance. And Mars is about what action do we want to take? What are the steps? And so this could be within a relationship with a partner, but this could also be your divine masculine, divine feminine within you working on this. And so there's this timing. You can protect yourself by taking sanctuary in a safe place. This may be an inner place somewhere within your heart, a time of solitude or a time of solitude in nature. Oh, nice. So maybe you need to schedule walks on a regular basis. Give yourself permission to spend as much time as you need in the safe place. Stay there until you are ready to emerge. There is no rush. And so even though you feel like you're running behind, that's what I think is happening here. I think that new moon, you feel like you should be off and running, and Spirit's kind of saying, not necessarily. There's still a few steps here. You're not going to, but Spirit's right there leading the way. You're not going to miss the opportunity. You're not going to miss the opportunity. There is a timing aspect in this whole situation here. So it may seem your process is taking a long time. You're being reassured that you will emerge according to the natural divine timing, which is the best timing. You don't need to force anything. Trust your instincts will guide you forward when the time is right. And so even though you are moving in the direction you want to go, don't panic, don't worry, you're not going to miss the opportunity. What is meant for you, you will always be able to attain. Always. And when you keep hitting blocks and stops, that's a notice of too. Maybe not that. Maybe you need to adjust or shift, right? So show up for yourself, be diligent, but trust the timing of things. And embrace this fire and water energy, this alchemy of the temperance, right? Of bringing things into balance in your life. The time to move and the time to stand still. The time to be excited and passionate, and the time to pull our energy in and meditate. Create balance in your life, I think, this month. It's pretty much what they're saying, on top of, the clarity that will start to come through. All right, you guys take really good care of yourselves. I'm on Facebook every day. Remember to leave a comment on the video. If you do, then you'll be in the drawing for the free reading that I'm going to do every month. And next up is the success videos, so stay tuned for that. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss when I upload your videos. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you again soon.